I grew up in Israel, and my dad's an artificial intelligence architect. So as a kid, I was super into technology. And from the very beginning, I was really passionate about the idea of putting artificial intelligence into the hands of everyday people. When I was a teenager, I moved to the United States, and I went to the University of Washington. And one of my best friends was getting a PhD in psychology, and I became fascinated by decision-making research. So when we weren't cramming for finals or going to parties, we spent long nights talking about decision-making psychology and how and why people make the decisions that they made. After finishing school, I was really fortunate. I got to take a trip to Europe. And like everyone else, I planned my trip using books, websites, top 10 lists, and review sites. The trip itself was great. I was 22 and traveled with one of my best buddies. But I found all these small hurdles and obstacles throughout my trip that really could have been better. And let me give you the 3 examples I like to share. So first, I went to Paris, and the hotel I booked was great. I booked it through a major website. But I'd never been to Paris before, so I didn't know the layout of the city. I didn't realize that my hotel was way on the outskirts of town, and it would take hours to get in and out every morning and night. So I spent more time in traffic than I did seeing the sights. The next example happened in Barcelona. As a huge soccer fan, I wanted to see a game at the famous Camp Nou, the iconic stadium in Barcelona. But I had some outdated information from a travel guide, and unfortunately, I missed out on the game. The last example happened in Rome, where I was sitting in a coffee shop and I met an Italian chef. He was just retired and told me about all these amazing restaurants all over the city. And I almost missed out on that opportunity because as a big foodie myself, none of these places were on the top 10 list that I originally looked through. So while the trip itself was outstanding, it could have been so much better. So after getting home, I spent 18 months talking to other travelers, trying to understand what normal people do when planning a trip to plan an experience that's unique and personal. And what I found is that everyone else did exactly the same thing that I did. So I set out to find a better answer for a way to plan a trip that was unique and was personal. And the first thing I did was to partner with psychology professors at the University of Washington to have them help me find an answer. Pretty soon, I quit my job in finance and decided to work on this full time. And we brought in some of the best thinkers in decision-making psychology and artificial intelligence to make an experience that was easy, enjoyable, and personal. Everything we felt that trip planning was not. Soon after, we started getting calls and emails from various companies that wanted to license our technology. And we took what we learned from them, plus what I learned on my trip to Europe, and we created Utrip PRO, our B2B offering where we provide a white-labeled solution to our partners in order for them to provide an experience to their guests that's personal. And this helps them increase engagement, loyalty, conversion rates, and revenue. Our system sorts through millions of possibilities, looking at travelers' interests, budget, preferences, geography, etc., and sorts through all sorts of options like must-see sites, events, activities, restaurants, typically my favorite experience, and so much more to create an experience that's really personal for them. So I believe that travel should always be personal. And it is our mission at Utrip to help our partners reimagine the relationship they have with their customers through every step of the travel lifecycle. So if that old Italian chef is watching, thank you.